Chicago are loving this. How about them Bears and the Bengals? Picked this game up in the second quarter, and Caleb Williams, talking about command, Bears up 3-0, second and 10. Watch Caleb avoid the sack, spit out of the pocket, and look Mahomes like with this throw.
It was a beautiful play, and it's going to sound like a hater, but was that necessary? What is he spinning from? And why is he flipping the ball like that? It's an incredible play, and that's what you get with Caleb Williams. He's an incredible arm talent. But that worries me. That worries me.
Well, how about this? This shouldn't worry you. Later in the drive, 3rd and goal, Williams again. Looking, voids the rush.
2 hands on the football.
He's looking, says, you know what? I might as well just take this thing in myself.
That's special.
And scores. And the crowd's going crazy, and they should. I mean, the guy was 6 of 13, 75 yards, had that one rushing touchdown. Bears go on to win this thing by a lot, 27-3, but it was all about what Caleb Williams did in this game. All right, so based off the performance and what we've seen, is this guy going to be a star? I mean, year one going in.
He's going to be a superstar because he really is special. What he brings to the table, you just don't see from NFL quarterbacks very often. We see it in Patrick Mahomes, and that's why everybody is so excited, including Chicago Bears fans. But there was a portion of this game where I had to temper my expectations. I was as excited as anybody after preseason game number 1. I thought his decision-making was amazing. I thought he played within the system, and he still put on display those incredible talents that he has. But in this game, I felt like there were times where he was pressing. He was trying to do a little bit more that was necessary, and it put me in a position to say, okay, is he going to be great this year? Absolutely. Is he going to be a rookie at times? For sure, and you should make sure you keep that expectation as you move forward.
Now, listen, dude, we didn't even get to that when you saw the Roma Dunze. That was dart he threw to Roma Dunze. If Dunze was an inch in the end zone as opposed to out of the end zone, that would have been even better. Give me your thoughts, Dano, what you thought out of Caleb Williams in this game.
Yeah, I think the in the end zone, out of the end zone comment was unnecessary, especially to coming to me, Cuss. But this is what I know. I've only seen 2 guys play that style of football in this league successfully in my time. One is Patrick and one is Josh. Now, Josh is 6'4", 6'5", 245 pounds. Caleb is not. The other guy, I'm not comparing any human being to, okay? So Caleb looks like he did at USC. No question about it. I understand it's the preseason. How much of this is real is really an unknown a little bit right now because he is at times playing against guys that aren't going to be in the NFL in a month from now. And he's not going to be seeing guys like this on Sundays consistently. But he does look like the kid that we saw at both Oklahoma and USC. In this game, Caleb was fine. He was fine up until the final 4 plays of the second quarter. And then he was, oh my gosh, good. And you're watching the highlights of him, the pocket feel, the escapability, the eyes behind the back of his head. Those were the highlights of this game. But up until that moment, there was a little bit of lack of staying on schedule. There was a little bit of a lack of consistency from his game. That didn't happen in preseason 1, okay? So the flash plays are there. We have to see how consistently that's going to be in his game because I've only seen 2 people do it on a week-to-week basis in the NFL.
Okay. I will wholeheartedly agree with that. I want to unpack it more because I know a lot of Chicago Bears fans will potentially get upset. But I think Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams will have more than 4,000 yards. So I think the Chicago Bears are going to have their first quarterback with 4,000 plus yards. I think Caleb Williams. Like, this question is actually kind of silly to me. Is Caleb Williams on track to be a superstar? Yes, obviously, absolutely. It's like not even a question worth asking. What he can do is extraordinary. But I'm getting so tired, and I made a video about this recently, that it's going to be so annoying to watch Caleb Williams play because every 5 seconds they're going to bring up Patrick Mahomes. And I'm sick of that. I'm annoyed. It's annoying. Caleb Williams is going to be Caleb Williams. He's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be Caleb Williams. Let him just be Caleb Williams. Now, listen, the reason why Patrick Mahomes is able to be so great and so consistent is because not only is he obviously, an elite player, but he has the coaching and the roster to go along with it. That's why he can be as consistent as he is. It's why Josh Allen is not as consistent. So the question is then where will Caleb Williams be? Because Orlovsky's kind of pointing out, listen, he was like pretty okay, did some good stuff, but also if you watch those highlights, you can see not so good stuff and then some extraordinary stuff. We're going to see that throughout the rookie season. We just are, okay? It's what even Patrick Mahomes did. The question is can Shane Waldron reach Caleb in a way that will minimize some of those things, that will minimize some of the extra moves? Now, I'm not even saying that his one rollout was unnecessary. Like, I forget who said that at this point now. I think it was Hawkins, who, said that. I'm not here to analyze that personally. That's not my exact expertise, but let's just play along with it and say it was unnecessary. Andy Reid is the type of head coach that will march right up to Patrick Mahomes and say, that was great, that was spectacular. You did not need to do that. You did not need to do that, so don't do it, okay? Like, do that when you need to do it. Don't do it when you don't need to do it, okay? Do you like that? That's how you win Super Bowls, okay? Unless you just want to be on highlight reels. And that is what, that is a huge effect that Andy has had on Patrick Mahomes. And so the question is will Shane Waldron have that effect on Caleb Williams? It's letting Caleb be Caleb, letting Caleb have his fun and do the things that he can do, but also helping him truly understand that the way how you be great in the NFL is actually not those magic plays. The magic plays is how you can become elite, but the way how you become great in the NFL is the fundamentals, is football 101, is the basics that you're taught when you are like on varsity, in high school, and then when you reach college. Like, it is just truly textbook football 101. And when you can do that consistently, you're great. That's how it is. And then you add the magic that now makes you elite. There's players, we see backup quarterbacks all the time throughout the entire history of the NFL being able to do magical plays. Whether it's a Gardner Minshew and Nick Foles, Fitzpatrick, right? Think of some of these more like popular mania type backup quarterbacks. They've all had moments where they have done some true magic. We got the film to prove it. But they can't consistently do the fundamentals. They can't consistently do the basics. And they also can't consistently be magical. So they're not great quarterbacks. They're not elite quarterbacks. What makes Patrick Mahomes truly elite, I wouldn't say is necessarily just the magic stuff. It's that he, like 99.9% of the time, does those fundamentals flawlessly. Game after game after game. It's what makes Dak Prescott not great and elite. Because Dak Prescott can be consistently good, but then when you need him to kind of be great, he can't do it 9 out of 10 times. He can do those basics, but like just ever so slightly. And then he doesn't have the magic to kind of help carrying him over. I mean, there's different formulas to how to get to where you need to go. But to me, the basics, the elementaries, when you can make that great and consistent, that's what sets you up. So yeah, if you start to rely on some of these magical razzle-dazzle plays, that can be a problem. And it is absolutely what Andy Reid needed to effectively coach out of him, coach around him, and also build him up at the same time. Because you don't take it away from him. You don't say no. It's just, hey, you're doing this 5 times a game. I need you to only do it like twice a game. You do it twice a game, we win Super Bowls. You do it 5 times a game, you're going to have Josh Allen's career. And whose career would you rather have? Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen? The answer is obviously Patrick Mahomes. Look at Lamar Jackson, right? So I think Caleb Williams is going to be a fascinating season to see. And that's why I think the expectations are through the roof. And the pressure is through the roof for Caleb Williams. Because you do have people like Nick Wright saying that they're going to go to the Super Bowl, right? And I'm sure a lot of Chicago Bears fans are getting excited about that, and understandably so. You have the quarterback of the future who should be a top quarterback in the NFL for the next decade, right? That's wildly exciting. But you have to also think about what is the long-term game plan for Caleb. What makes Caleb truly elite, and how can you get there sooner rather than later? And it's not being too heavily seduced by the insane magical plays. And again, I think Caleb Williams will absolutely positively be a superstar. And I'm not being as negative as whoever the guy said before, where he's like, that was unnecessary. I don't know what he's doing. But the problem is when you do some of those plays, it does overlook sometimes some of the negatives that he had. And he did have negatives, as Orlovsky also pointed out, that he was just kind of okay until those other 4 plays. You can't rely on those 4 plays to make you forget about the other plays. That's what I think I'm trying to emphasize more than anything. Like how this segment even started by saying, what did it say? It was like the game of the weekend or something? What did it say? Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, Russ was still in the. We're loving this.
Yeah, performance of the weekend. And I don't know if that's necessarily accurate. You could say the play of the weekend. The play of the weekend. I don't know if he had the best complete performance, quite honestly. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not saying he didn't, but that's the problem. We get so obsessed with a couple plays, and then we just kind of forget about the others. Hopefully Shane Waldron doesn't. Doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter what the media thinks. Doesn't matter what the fans think. But I know Andy Reid does not get tricked by some of those plays. If Patrick Mahomes does something wrong but gets away with it, Andy Reid doesn't just say, what are you going to do? Andy Reid will march right up to Patrick Mahomes and say, that was awesome. That was great. But you got away with it. You got lucky. You got real lucky. And let me explain to you why. And guess what? You could have done this and it would have made your life a whole lot easier. That's what Shane Waldron needs to be able to do to Caleb Williams. And they're developing that relationship now, right? Shane Waldron needs to prove that he can do it, and Caleb Williams needs to prove that he can be coached and receive it. And I do believe Caleb wants to be the best he can be. So I do believe he's going to put in the work. But it's performances like this that you don't just want everyone to keep saying, oh my God, he's amazing. He's already like Patrick Mahomes. That's when I think things can get kind of problematic, because then you do start to get high on your own supply. You got to be serious. You got to be focused. It's time to get to work. You have massive responsibility on your shoulders right now. They are saying you can lead Chicago to being a top team in the NFL year after year after year. And quite frankly, the actual legitimate expectations on Caleb in terms of career is to be a top quarterback of all time. Is to be a top 2, top 3 quarterback, potentially even the number 1 quarterback in the history of the NFL. That is what Caleb Williams is chasing. That is what he said that he wants. And if that's the case, you certainly don't get seduced by the razzle-dazzle in a preseason game. It just is what it is. It's just always hard work, no matter what the outcome is. So, and I believe that Caleb Williams can do that. I really do. So again, do not take that as like me trying to pull down Caleb or trying to be like anything negative, because look at any of my previous clips. Like I've said nothing but pure positivity about Caleb. But I do think some of these things sometimes need to be put into perspective. And I think honestly, Orlovsky probably did that pretty well. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? What do you make of Caleb Williams' performance so far? What has he shown you and what has he not shown you? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.